guys, it's Melanie, and I am today, I am back with another organization video, kind of organization video. Today we're going to talk about Marie Kondo. Alright guys, I do want to start this video by saying I love Marie Kondo. I love her new her new series on Netflix. She seems so kind and so nice, and most of her method I really love. But there are a few things I have to alter. I cannot go around. I think are a little crazy, not crazy. They're just, I can't do them. So I wanted to talk about those with you and ways that you could go around them, and kind of some thoughts that I had that I want to share with you about certain things. Yes. Anyway, if you don't know who Marie Kondo is, you're living under a rock, I'm guessing, because it's all over the internet, that new show. She has a new show on Netflix. She's been around before that, actually, but she is this very seemingly kind woman who organizes things in her own way with this own method. I do like the method because she lets people keep things that are meaningful to them, and that's a lot of things I really like about her methods. But there are a few I just cannot handle. I had to go around them and do differently, and then there are some warnings. Not warnings, but I don't know what a good word for that is. But anyway, I wanted to share with you guys. Yes, so anyway, I hope that she approves of how I can't handle things. There's certain things I had to go around. So anyway, here it is. I hope that this might help you if you're struggling with these two. Yes, okay, here we go. Alright guys, number one, the folding. Girl, I love the way that the closets look on that show, and I love how everything looks so neat and you can see it. That's great. But the episode where she's folding the kids' underwear and stuff, I don't have the time. Let me tell you what, confession, I'm actually going to do a laundry video soon, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't fold socks. I do not fold underpants. I don't fold baby onesies, which our kids have grown out of now, unless it's like a really nice dress, but like onesies I did not do. I have bins. I have nice bins that I keep in the dressers or in a closet, and I try to buy almost always, like one color sock for my kids, usually black, and then you can just throw them all in one bin. It still looks okay, and then you just have to pick two out of the bin. There is no sorting, there is no separating, there is no folding, and I just do not fold underpants. I do not. They just get stuck in a bin, so they are together, but I try to save time because I'm so busy. So I'm sorry, I cannot fold underpants. I could, but I don't have it in me, so please forgive me. Can't do it. Number two is the books. Now, y'all, I purposefully sat next to my children's bookshelf for the intro and the whole video because they're books. So, if you watch the one episode, she talks about how a house should have like a maximum of 30, I want to say. I think it was 30 books. And I was like, what? Whoa. But I think on the episode with the family, with the smaller children, they kept more books. But I was blown away. I could not, absolutely just not. This is my children's bookshelf. This is one of their bookshelves. You know, kids do better whenever they have a tangible book instead of reading online, and my kids love these. We are also homeschoolers, so in the homeschool room I have a bunch of homeschool curriculum. It's organized, but there are a lot of them. I still have a few of my books from college to reference from time to time, and when I was in college I had a lot of books that I had to have. I'm sure she excuses this, but we have a lot of books. Just my kids, you know, just this right here, probably, yeah, I have to be more than 30 books. Yes, I do want to say, whenever we bought this house and we first moved, I did get rid of a lot of my personal books, and I just have them on my Kindle now, which they do kind of, the Kindle bothers my eyes a little bit, even the one that does not light up. I don't know why that is, but I do like to read tangible books. I like to read magazines and things. I do get rid of magazines within a couple months, but you get my point. I could not get rid of all the books. I definitely do not have a ton of books, and they are contained, but the thought of 30 books in my house just made me a little anxious. I couldn't do it. So anyway, yes, Okay, moving forward. Number 3, I still haven't watched the last couple episodes, so maybe they address this, or maybe it's in her book, so if it is, please correct me. But number 3 is your digital life. So your online stuff, but more importantly, your photos and your videos that you have stored in your computer. Now, they obviously do not take up space in your home. Do not get me wrong, that's, they don't take up space. It's not an issue. But it can make you go a little crazy whenever you're trying to find a picture from Christmas last year. And if you watch the show, she talks about different ways to organize printed photos and older photos, which I liked. And I do want to mention something about that also, and that will be the next thing about throwing away your photos. But I think implementing that in a way in your digital world could work too, and trying to just, organize your photos so that way you're not so chaotic in your videos and maybe some other things online that you need to do. I work from home, so I have to organize stuff like for work too, and if that wasn't organized, I would go crazy. Again, that doesn't create clutter in your house, but it creates clutter in your head when you're trying to like clean stuff up. So anyway, yes. All right, moving on. Together with number 3 and a half, I want to talk about that picture where she says, if you have like photos, pick your favorite and throw one away. I want to caution you about something that I thought about before you just keep only one photo. So let's say my mom has a box of photos of me when I was a child, and when I was a kid, digital photos were not a thing, so they're all prints. So my mom has prints, my dad has prints. Let's say my mom has 3 prints that are pretty similar. That's, one of my favorite photos. I have 2 children, not 1 child. So I would keep 2 prints if I had the option to. If there was more than 1 print, I would keep 2 of those types so that if my children want them, I could give 1 to each child whenever they're older. Same thing with if you have, just prints or some sort of coloring thing of some sort. I would keep 1 for each child. Keep them for myself now, but that way if they wanted them later, I would be able to give them each one and I would not be stuck thinking about that. So I would keep at least 1 per child if I have children. All right, moving forward. All right, number 4 is the gift closet. Now this one may not pertain to everyone, so bear with me if it does not. A lot of us couponing moms, or just, moms and parents in general, or maybe people that just have to get gifts for people, may have a gift closet or a gift area in their home, which is basically just you see something on a really good clearance price or something that your kids really want for Christmas or Easter on sale, and it's months ahead of time, so you buy it at like that 70% off price and you store it away somewhere nicely, neatly in a great area. And then you have it and you just wait a couple months to give it to them. You can save so much money doing this. I think I have a video on it. If I do, I'll link it below. But anyway, you guys, I have an area in my home. I have 2 totes. I keep them up on a high shelf, up out of the way. You definitely don't want to get rid of these things, and you don't want to stop doing this. You save so much money. So I would not get rid of these things. I would not stop doing that. I just have 2 totes that are designated for them, and they are not in the main area of my house, so I do not see them until I need to, and they are not thought about. Yes, anyway, yes, gift closet, still needed. Just now it's a gift tote in the basement, up high. Okay, moving forward. I keep saying moving forward. Next. Number 5, the command center of your home, if you will. When you first walk in the house, she does talk about everything that, you get rid of a lot of things, stuff you don't need. Everything needs a home, which is extremely important. But I do want to emphasize the command center when you first come into the house, because that is such an important place. And I feel like that was not touched on enough in the show, and it may be touched on more in her book. But when you first come in the house, she does talk about how you should put stuff away immediately, which I totally agree with. I'm kind of guilty of not doing that. But you need a place to put stuff like your wallet, your keys, your purse, your shoes, and then you don't want any too much clutter there. So I think having enough bins and hooks and places at the front of the house is just, or back, wherever you come in, is just so important. And I feel like it's not touched on enough, and it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. And this isn't just like a con, like against like the show. It's more of like my personal preference. But just having enough bins and then knowing what you need them for. So saying like, oh, every time I come in, I have nowhere to place my keys. And then you're like, oh yes, I should get something, you know, to put my keys, which goes with what she says. Everything needs a home. But I like to have, at the beginning of the house, extra places. Just a few catch-alls, if you will, but you can't just, you know, fill them full of crap. But catch-alls where you can place things when you first come in. If you need to sit down for a moment before, you can put them where they go. If you're like me and your ankle hurts when you first come home and you just need to sit down. So yeah, places like that. Am I rambling? Does anyone even know what I'm talking about? Nope. Okay, number 6, the spark joy. Now I totally agree with that her method, where everything you touch should spark joy or bring you happiness. Everything in your home should bring you happiness. I love this idea. I fill my home with things that make me happy, and I get rid of things that do not make me happy. But I do want to mention something before you go throwing away everything. Now, I don't want to stop you from throwing stuff away, don't get me wrong. But think about a couple things before you throw every item away. I'm going to give you an example. When I was younger, my mom had this shirt she wore all the time. And I remember that shirt vividly. A lot of my early childhood memories were her in that shirt. She wore it a lot. And maybe she didn't realize that that's one of the shirts that I liked to see her in as a child. But she still has the shirt. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It'd be really cool to have the shirt, or maybe to wear the shirt myself. Do you get where I'm coming at? Now, I'm not saying keep all of your clothing so your children, you know, can have it, but maybe you had a favorite shirt that you wore very often and you don't wear it anymore. Don't keep all of your shirts, but maybe a couple of those types of things, maybe a couple shirts or something you may want to keep back. I do the same thing. I only kept, I think, 2 of my shirts for my kids and in the 7 years that I've been a mother. So I'm just saying, maybe think about that. Another thing is, for kids' clothing, they grow out of it. I don't just get rid of all of it. I save some of it. I save like their first Christmas shirt. I'm obviously going to want to save that. I save a couple outfits per like group. So like 6 to 9 months, I might keep like the 2 favorite outfits I love to see them in, because maybe they want to put their kids in them someday, or maybe I just want to like reminisce. So I do keep a couple outfits per age group, especially whenever they were infants. So I just, you know, I have like less than a tote full of clothes. Don't like come for me. But think about those types of things. Maybe, you know, a couple outfits that your kids may want to put their kids in, or maybe a shirt that, you know, may come back in style. Don't keep a bunch of stuff. I'm just saying, think about a couple things before you think, oh, this doesn't spark joy. It may spark joy for your kids or something like that. So maybe if it's something you wear a lot, or that, maybe talk to your kids about it, but don't keep everything. Does that make sense? I don't want to like keep you from getting rid of your things, but yeah. Also, I do want to add, I eBayed a couple things for the first time. I think I'm totally going to make a video about it, and I'll link it below if I do. But I sold stuff on eBay, and it was pretty cool. I'm pretty proud. I didn't think I was going to sell anything. I was excited. Okay, next, mail, paperwork, that type of thing. Don't just get rid of it. Don't just throw it away. I know a lot of papers come in and they're like expired coupons, and you got to get them out the door. You got to throw them away. Try to get to your mail as soon as it comes. Don't save a bunch of paperwork, but don't throw away things that you may regret. Like maybe, I mean, a grocery receipt you probably won't need, but a receipt for something that you may need to take back. Have a place for those. I have a couple folders in my house and a couple different places where I can put stuff. One's just like receipts for things that may need to be taken back if they don't work, like that type of thing. I don't keep all receipts, just that type of stuff. I keep all of my taxes. I have a very organized drawer full of folders that has all of my tax paperwork. I keep it back like so many years, and then I have a folder full of like medical paperwork or insurance paperwork, that kind of stuff, in case I need it. I keep that for a couple years just to be on the safe side. I do not go in excess and, you know, keep paperwork from a long time ago, but just be careful whenever you're throwing paperwork away. I mean, this might be just common sense, but just in case, you know, be mindful of what you're throwing away. I'm sure that Marie Kondo agrees with me, but just keep that in mind. I feel like they don't touch on that enough on the show. All right, the last thing number 8, that I think is the most important to me at the time that I want to express to you is something else about sparking joy, and it's about items like heirlooms or things that remind you of someone that don't spark joy currently. So here's an example. My grandma passed away 2 months ago, and I can't handle it. So certain things, her photos, her heirlooms, things like that, I can't, they don't spark joy. Eventually I'm gonna have to, you know, be able to have these things in my home. I want some of her things in my home. We were very close, but at the moment I just kind of need it to not be in my face every day. So obviously they do not spark joy right now, and I'm not saying that you would get rid of your, you know, dead relatives things or anything like that, but maybe you need a break, because I know I do. So I actually very neatly packed some things up and put them in a nice safe place, and then once a few more months pass, I might try to trickle the things back into my home decor. But at the moment they do not spark joy. They spark tears. I think I just spit in my camera. Yes, another thing I want to mention with that is maybe if someone passed away that, or maybe someone left, like a divorce, or someone like moved away, or someone, you know, passed away, maybe you need to put those away. I'm not saying in a divorce you're going to want your stuff back, but if you have kids, maybe there are a couple things, like a couple photos of you guys together, or like one of those photos that were like taken on vacation that there's no digital copy of, your kids might want, so like bury it, but don't throw it away, but maybe take a digital copy and then forget about it. You guys know what I'm saying. Don't keep everything. Don't let me talk you into keeping things that you really want to leave, toss out, leave. But yeah, these are just some things I wanted to touch on. I think I'm done with everything. Yes? Yes. Anyway, the spark joy for people that passed or moved on, you may need to, you know, pack away for a little bit, because I know I had to, and I plan on bringing them back, but I'm not going to, you know, pawn them or anything. All right. That was the last one. All right, so anyway, that is it for the video. Again, I love Marie Kondo. I love most of her method, and I love the show. I've been binge watching it, but I just wanted to mention those few things I had a hard time with, things that I wanted to kind of tell you guys about. But that is it. Anyway, yes, if you haven't seen her show, please go watch it. It's super awesome, very motivating, extremely motivating. And I have more organizational videos coming up in the next week or two, and that is it. I will try to do an eBay video too. I started filming a couple of clips for that. I'm excited. I sold something on eBay. All right, you guys, that is it. Please stay. Please subscribe. Bye, guys. Bye, guys? I never say that. Bye, y'all. Love yins.